Cool. So thanks everybody for everything. Tracy for putting the agenda together, and others for adding to that. I feel like it's a bit of a critical meeting tonight with quite a lot of decisions to make to help us move forward. So I've got a bit of a wee presentation to sort of just help me really share where we're at and what we've done. Everything, the decisions we need to make are really tied very closely together. So in order to break even, we need to sell all of our beds at the lodge. So that's our kind of key driver. And so we're not far off that. We're 9 beds short of selling all the beds we want. So we're in a really good place. But sort of tied into that is there's assistant coaches who've booked spots, potential assistant coaches who've booked a place who'll cancel their place. We've sat on the sessions that have not sold until now, so that we can then have a rethink in terms of, okay, where are we at with what's not sold? What can we swap out like for like, bring in something else which has got a bit more interest in it to fill those extra beds. So I kind of thought, well, if I do a bit of a presentation, then it'll just help me work through that process. But I'm sure we're going to flit around because backwards and forwards between talking about numbers and spaces and workshops and assistants and coaches and blah blah blah, because they do all just cross over. Does that all sound all right? Yeah. And I've noted down the agenda. I appreciate it is quite a big agenda tonight, and I think my suggestion would be we need to get those spaces up for sale, and that's ASAP really, so we make sure we sell them. So if we end up needing another meeting before too long, then I think we just do that. Yeah,
some of those other things were just to get people thinking.
No,
we've got a lot of work to do, and so far we've not done a lot, so
yeah, and I think that's all good. I think like now is the time to do it. So I think we're in a really good place. Right, so share my screen and just shout up as I run through this. So we've got 94 bookings in at the moment, which is made up of these things in here. So 26 non-residential spaces, 27 campers or vanners, that's a mixture of the two, and 41 B&B full board, with nine spaces left. So what I've written in there, the max numbers, I think this is something that Tracy, Emmy and I are off to the lodge on Wednesday, and we've got a morning together as well to iron out a few things. So I think on Wednesday we need to pin down exactly how many people we can have in the building. So they've said that they can do refreshments for 150 people. Now up here in this box up here, I've added all this up. So if we said we had 100 participants with 20 assistants, 25 coaches, and 10 extras, which is quite a lot, but it's on the list to go through today who those people might be. That gives us 155 people, so 5 over who'd get refreshments. Now I think we've got a bit of space there because some groups will go, like the Advanced Whitewater Kayak group will go straight to the Morrisdale or Gary, they'll meet in situ. So I don't think we're going to actually have every single person in the building at the same time or all at once. So if we went on a max of 100, then that's 155 people, give or take a few. Linked to that is having 25 coached sessions, which has 120 workshop spaces. So that means if we had 100 people, we'd have 20 sort of blank spots left in sessions that weren't filled. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm kind of thinking somewhere in the 100 to 120 participants. And the only other thing on that slide is there's 85 bed spaces, and this is what we want to make sure that we sell all of them. At the moment, 50 of those are allocated to participants, 35 are allocated to coaches. The 20 assistants all get that paid for by the lodge. So 20 of those are free. And the other, what have I left? 15 are for coaches, volunteers, etc., who need a bed, which at the moment 14 coaches have said they want a bed. So, you know, that's kind of there or thereabouts. Not all assistants will take their beds, so that's another sort of factor in the how things might the scales might tip one way or another. Does that make sense? Is there questions there from anybody?
Not questions, just like if we were wanting to make more money as opposed to just going to be breaking even with that amount of people that we're going to be having, you know, it would be good to have the capacity to get some money in the bank for future events to cover them. Like if we can cut down on the 10 extras and punt some of the assistants out the beds and sell the beds.
Yeah.
Do you know, because if you look at what some of them are, the freebies that some of them are getting, when you add it all up, it's pretty unbelievable. Do you know, and that's, you know, we're maybe being a bit overly generous, but I know that's for further down the line. But
some of that extras is going to be the people that we need on the ground, isn't it?
We know that, yeah. But some of them aren't as well. So
right, yeah. Okay, fair enough. When are we likely to be allocating the volunteers to the coach sessions?
Tonight.
Tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got so
that seems to be the crux.
Yeah, no, it's done. We're getting there.
Yeah, I've got a list of all the different, it's on this presentation, and this is in the Google Drive, so you'll be able to see it as well. It's if we're harsh about it, it's quite easy in terms of what we've kind of said. We'll prioritize people with a leadership qualification and those that are furthest on in their coaching journey. So if we stick to that, we've got an obvious team of people that we'd select. So yeah, we'll get to that, but cool. Shall I move on? So this next lot is a little bit, these things are all about where we're at with the workshops that we've currently got on offer. Rolling's full. Nearly all of the sea workshops are sold out. Half of the canoe workshops are sold out, most of the SUP and all of the whitewater kayak. The dribs and drabs of extra things like pack rafting, tailored, lot more accessible. We'll come on to those in a minute, but they're the ones where there is a little bit more spaces as well. The next slide tells us exactly where the spaces are. So what this is doing here is telling you how many I swapped it around, Tracy, how many bookings there are and how many spaces there are. So there's 3 bookings on this and there's 5 spaces. The Sunday's full with 5 out of 5 bookings. So spaces wise, if we looked at that as it was, we'd run the canoe intro because it's got people on it. We'd run OC1 and we'd try and fill day 2 as long as Emmy comes, as long as I was delighted to see your email, Emmy, to say I'll coach the OC1.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm chatting to Sam this week, so
Great, we'll come on to coaching in a bit, but that was one of our coaching snags, was OC1, but Emmy might have a lot of fun doing that over the weekend. Open water canoe had on Thursday when Tracy and I looked at this, it had no bookings at all. It has since got 2 bookings on the Sunday. the chilled out river trip is full on Sunday, spaces on Saturday, blah, blah, blah. You can see how it's panning out. Yeah, the rolling rescues will happen. Tailored Lot Morlock sessions only got one booking on the whole weekend, so I think that's one that we go and relocate them onto something else that they'd like to do. The sea paddling afternoon tea, it's got 3 on it. It's not running on Saturday. And then the SUP, which is a bit of a funny one, the SUP. We've got 5 sessions on Sunday, and on Saturday we offered 4 sessions, and the plan was to double up on numbers on one of them, which we haven't done yet. So Saturday's full, but it's a session short, and Sunday's got dribs and drabs of sessions, of spaces within the sessions. But I suspect once we open Saturday up, we'll then start to fill up those dribs and drabs on the Sunday as well.
I'm guessing, just looking at it, we're going to scrap open canoeing Saturday 0 out of 5. Just going with that, scrapping that, and scrapping tailored lot more like altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the figures I had at the beginning on that first slide said we need 25 coaches. If we go, we don't really want to go over that, because that's our 120 spaces. If we then start going over that, we're going to have more empty spots that are unfilled, and it costs us more.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. The spots with 2 on, do you know, I would either join them up or ditch them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the chilled out river trip, could we put the 2, depending on what their sessions are on Sunday, onto Sunday, and then give them a competent leader, whoever's on that, to take 8?
So that's what that's what we talked about, was turning the pack rafting Sunday session into a chilled out river trip.
Yeah.
And they could pack raft it or be in whatever sort of craft they wanted to be in.
Yeah.
And that works quite nicely with Claire Nifton, who can do both of those things. So she'd be a good sit for that one. So there's an opportunity there for us to drop one thing. Remember that when we recruit our assistants, so what I'm thinking the order is, we decide that we're going to put on some extra sessions. We let people move into those sessions, people who've already booked spaces, but they've said, I'd rather do X, Y, or Z. We take our assistants out, and then we have a look at what we're going to cancel, because there'll be a whole load of rejigging happening in that piece. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But I think we will lose people off the chilled out river trip and pack rafting, because they were sort of second choices for people. I couldn't get what I wanted, so I booked those things. So yeah, anticipating that we'll lose those. Are we happy that we ditch open water canoe now? Because it'd be good just to close that one down.
Yeah, on the Saturday, yeah.
But keep Sunday open.
Funny, because it did go last year, didn't it, on 2 days?
The river went. Did open water go? I thought the river went
Oh
twice.
yeah, it was river, not open water. Sorry.
Yeah, because you were on the river twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
We cancelled open water last year, didn't we?
Yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah.
So, canoe open water Saturday. Cancel.
And yeah, tailored lot more like.
Yeah.
Bye.
Because we can start comms with those people who are on those things and try and make sure they then get slotted onto things that they want to do and get a sense of what that looks like. And then the question marks would be things
with only 1 and 2 on them.
Yeah.
2 on them.
Canoe open water Sunday, question mark. Pack rafting Sunday. But move to move that onto the chilled river. That goes
About the 9 spaces that you're hoping to sell, like the minimum of 9 spaces, are you just going to slot them in for left open? Because if there's 9, at minimum of 9, that's 18 sessions across the 2 days, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah, so that's why I'm thinking we need to open some more things up that they want to book, because
Aye.
yeah, and that's, I think, yeah, my
But
next
we've got big waiting lists, haven't we, for
Yeah.
Whitewater and for C.
yeah,
So
So
we'll
you
get,
can for the demand is, so you can
Yeah.
kind of source
Yeah.
coaches for them. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Aye.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I was speaking to folks at the weekend that were saying, "Oh yeah, we missed it." I was like, "Just wait, it'll come back." And
Cool.
that
So,
was
yeah,
in the
the next-
seaside.
This next slide is the number of people who are on the waiting list. Now that, yeah, that is 19 unique people. So some people have ticked everything, you know, they've ticked advanced whitewater kayak, intermediate, and this one here. So they want to do something, but they've got trigger happy.
remember we said you're only allowed one choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well, we can't do Friday evening rolling sessions, so unfortunately that one's
No.
out.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless
out.
we use a different venue.
no, but see the logistics that we're going to
Oh.
have.
I know. I'm kind of saying it and going no, but I was, yeah. We would only really add another 4 or 5 places to it.
Yeah.
You could do Saturday night, but that's just tedious for who's poor Poppy.
Yeah.
Water coming out every orifice.
Yeah. So I was wrong with what I said there. There's 19 people on the waiting list who haven't booked a place yet, and they classically want intermediate C and intermediate whitewater kayak. They're the most popular things, and there's 30 people who have booked their place but have also put themselves on the waiting list for stuff. So they're the ones that might jiggle around once we open some stuff up.
Is it worth opening up the full board spaces in intermediate C and whitewater first to sell the beds, and then letting the internal people jiggle it, rather than letting the internal people jiggle it and then losing the spaces and not being able to get more people on board? You know, like the people get, you know, sell it to the people that are waiting, that have not paid yet, and say, yeah, it's full board.
yeah, I think we should do that, because then you've got those beds, and then at least we know we can break even, and then
yeah,
we can move
then we can
people
jiggle
around.
about.
Yeah.
So kind of give them first dibs into it before, yeah.
Other people have paid their money anyway, you know.
Yeah.
And they've committed to doing something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And we can keep jiggling about and moving about and getting more space internally.
So if I do a news item which says we've opened up some new spaces to SWPS, as in new workshops.
For people that haven't already got a booking.
Yeah.
But have you not already got the names of those people who are
on the waiting list?
Could
yes, I
you-
do.
Can you email them rather than putting
Yes.
and thingy
Yeah.
out?
give them first dibs, because they've gone to the effort of doing all of that.
And it'll
Yeah,
save backlash, wouldn't it?
yeah, and then, you know, and that's the equitable way to do it. Save the backlash.
Save the hassle.
Yeah. And then if they don't sell at full board, then opening it up, and if they don't sell at full board, then, you know.
And it's just the right time at the beginning of the month as well.
Exactly.
To get that out.
Yeah, so I'll put an email together that says we've opened up some more sessions at SWPS. This is where their space is at the moment. You know, click here to book.
And since you've no council tax to pay this month, book a space instead.
What? There's no council tax?
Only if you pay over 10 months.
Can I throw something out there? Because I don't know what. Just to put this, the sea chilled trip. Could that be any day? Because you could take. I'm just going to chat about a coach for one. Because Emily Emily Hamilton Peach, could we take her off a sup to put her on the chilled trip if that got more bodies to buy a full package in?
We've got more sea coaches than we need already.
Okay, that's fine. Then scrap that.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
So my conclusion from this, was that this is what we open up. So an extra sub session on Saturday to balance out the numbers because they're one short. 2 extra C on both days. And then 2 extra moderate water or whitewater kayak both days. So that is 10, 20, that's 25 spaces. Is that too many?
Yeah,
Is it?
we were at 90 something.
94.
Plus, yeah, but
So
I
you've
was
got
saying
26.
120 spaces.
Oh, they're going to reshuffle.
Yeah. Because they won't maybe we just do one of each. I'm sure I did the figures on this. So how many just give me a second. I've lost my calculator. I can do it on here actually. 24. Yeah, so this is a list of all the sessions that are running with the extras in. So that's 8. Yeah, the C, that's right.
Yeah, we had to put an extra in stand-up paddleboard as well.
That's here.
Yeah.
So that comes to, no, sorry, yeah, I missed some. That comes to 28. So then we need to cancel 3. We open those ones up, we have to cancel 3.
So we've got cancelled river trip, canoe open water, and was the
Tailored thing.
tailor
Block
made.
mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, canoe open water. I'm tempted that we just cancel both days of that and shuffle people around. It's a shame because we're at the lodge and the canoes are there and the trailers are there and blah blah blah.
Yeah, we've got boats coming up from down south as well.
For from Greg
At Silver Birch, yeah.
Robert, yeah.
It's not a lot we can do if they don't book.
No.
You know. Can
No, that's very, yeah.
Can he send us something else instead? T-shirts. Don't know.
I messaged Beth a big email bit and she's going to forward it on to him. But yeah.
So we need to cancel 3. That kind of thing, I do think it'll come out in the wash. And I guess that was the slight benefit of doing it, of giving people the choice to shuffle around a bit, was that we would lose some of the less popular sessions. But I get why we do it the other way around. I guess what we need to do is we need to work out what we're going to cancel, and we need to let those people, if they're for the 1s and 2s, move on to something else before we sell them. So number 1 is cancel 3 sessions. So let's go back to that. It would be
open water canoe Saturday, Sunday. so that was only 2 people on the Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We chilled out river trip on the Saturday, which is 2 people.
I reckon the canoe open water people might be all right with chilled out river trip.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can go.
Because they could go in canoe.
Mm-hmm.
Basically the same day, innit?
Yeah, except we're full on Sunday. But we could see if we could jiggle some people. Well, no, it doesn't help.
But if you say you've got too many sea kayak coaches, are there any of those that are dual, you know, that they can do the canoe or anything? Are there any of those that could support an additional trip on the river or something?
It's not massive.
Yeah, we did sit and look at all of that in great detail the other day.
Yeah, and we'll get there. So
Worked
let's
it
come
all
back.
out.
Let's come back to that. We need to cancel something else because it might be advanced whitewater because we're a coach down.
There was, yeah, so there was chilled out river trip on the Saturday. There's tailored Loch Morley both days.
Yeah, so oops, go back to that one. One of the suggestions we had was that we cancel chilled out river trip on Saturday and chilled out river trip and pack rafting become one coach rather than 2. They do one thing on Saturday and one thing on Sunday. So Claire would do pack rafting Saturday and she'd do chilled out river trip on Sunday.
Which would work because she's multi-craft, doesn't
Yeah.
she?
Keep it the old thing.
That would make sense.
Yeah, so that's our third. Merge pack rafting and chill river. So so the first thing to do is cancel those sessions and reallocate the people to sessions that they want. And then we open up these sessions here, which works fine, gives us 120 spaces. We don't think we'll sell, we aren't necessarily going to sell them all, but we could do, and we're selling, and they're popular things. So if we are going to sell stuff, those are the things we're going to sell. So I just need to change the words on there and we'll do it the way around.
I think it's reasonable to sell the beds and let the assistants can camp, camp for free if we've got the capacity to sell the beds and make money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's if we're talking of the 120 people.
Yeah, because we've still got all the, if we're going to be using the lodge buses, we've still got all the fuel to pay for as well. So that'll all need to be done.
Okay. Does that sound like a good plan? Winner. Okay, so coaches. So we go on that what we've just chatted through there, which is wicked. We need 25 coaches. So the ones in red are the question marks. So 5 sub coaches, Nikki, Mandy, Jess, Emily, and Julie. Julie, your name's on the list.
How could you be in red as a question mark?
Because I hadn't got the bit of paper yet.
That's why.
Yes.
Hey.
When's that happening though? Because you're getting that's a dead cert, is it not? That's what I've heard in grapevine.
The end of the month. Next month. No, this month. It's not happening tomorrow.
So we can have a party at the end of February then, that'd be great.
End of February or March, depending on the wind.
Winner. So, and that is, correct me, Emmy, if I'm right on this one, that would be Nikki and Emily on river stuff, Jess on the higher end whitewater stuff, Mandy on open water, Julie on coastal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've asked Mandy and I've not had a reply. I don't know if you've had any comms, Emmy.
I've chatted to her. She hasn't. She's replied to everything but that, so I'll chase her up again.
Okay, cool. And are you cool with that, Julie, doing the coastal?
Aye, that's all good.
Great. Winner. Can I change the colour?
Then I change it yet. Just hold on.
We'll leave it in red until we're qualified.
Yes, please.
Cool.
It's just that little bit less pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. We haven't got a huge amount in the bag with SUP, so in terms of other people we could ask.
Yeah, not unless you move me.
Yeah, unless we move Kirsten.
Yeah, that's on the list.
Yeah.
But then again,
Possibles.
you kind of move me anywhere.
Yeah, there's a few folk that are like you, Kirsten, that we could move about. So that's all on the back burners.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on that.
Yeah. Okay, so C coaches is relatively easy. We 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's 9 there.
And we've still got Anne in there, haven't we?
Yeah, so chatted to Anne this week. We're going to drop Anne out of the C and into helping at the building, but being a super sub for C if anyone drops out last minute. So she's cool with that. And I thought it made sense to she'd be a really useful pair of hands. She can coordinate the C group, she can help with where they're all going, and she's a super sub if somebody is ill or breaks down or whatever. God forbid something like that gets COVID, who knows.
I don't know. That was somebody yesterday going, I'm glad I didn't come at the weekend because I've got COVID. So
Doug just has just gone to test because someone he was with yesterday was just rang him up to say he was positive. So yeah, it's still there, isn't it?
oh yeah.
We've got loads of advanced water coaches within this. We've got Alice, Alison, Kate, Laura.
Jani.
Not advanced.
Oh, I thought she just passed her advanced as leadership.
Yeah, but we don't need any more than that, so that's cool. So we've got plenty of advanced. So that C's all good, in good shape. Whitewater kayak. So if we go with the plan, we need 3 advanced and 4 moderate. So I must have been having a bad day one day because I opened up another advanced slot. We were a bit like we were with SUP in that we had an extra session to open up. And I looked at what the waiting list was and I decided we could open it up. We haven't actually got a coach for it. So I've been desperately trying to seek out coaches from around the UK to cover that one. I've got 2 new names today. So Deb Pinniger's not available. Fee Korf's not available. Lowry Davis isn't available. So they're ruled out. I've got 2 others today who I didn't know. One's Devon based, so quite a long way away, and they're moderate with advanced water leader, and the other is advanced water coach. So I'll reach out to them both and see what they come back with. And I've gone to the 4 national associations. So sorry, there was the one from Mags who suggested the girl from Southern Ireland. You'll know her, Kirsten, will you? Susan Doyle.
No, I don't know her. How far off is Cara from going from assessment? Because she's been pushing it for a while.
We looked her up. She just did her training at the end of December.
Yeah. So Cara's applied to be an assistant, but she's moderate water qualified. So suggestion is we bring her in. That's still and you're in, Kirsten, and that still leaves us our advanced water one short.
Okay, that's fine. So do we ask the one that's the closest first in terms of that that mileage, environmental impact, all that sort of stuff? Yeah. And then work it out from there. Yeah. Yeah. I reached out to her on Instagram this evening, so I'll see what she comes back with. I don't have no idea where she is actually. I just know the other one's in Devon from her.
What's her name?
Hang on a minute. Beth something. Oh, Beth Morgan. She's emailed me. What are the dates? I'd be really interested in helping if it could work. I'm currently living and working in Norway, so it will take a bit of logistical planning.
Okay.
Not impossible, but really keen. So there we go. Yeah, Beth Morgan is one of them, and the other one, Laura Wynne.
I know her.
Okay.
We've got a few mutual friends.
Do you know
Sorry,
where
I missed all that. I'm just back.
we're just chatting about coaches? Is Laura Wynne, am I right in saying she's Devon based?
I think so, aye.
Yes,
But
I know of her too.
Okay.
aye.
Just recently found her on Facebook, see who it was.
Yeah. Okay.
So sometimes if they can book far enough in advance, they can get a super cheap flight from like Newquay. I think Newquay's doing.
Oh, it was used to Fly B there, wasn't it? It's gone bust.
No, it's one of the other ones. I can't remember it right. Not can't remember.
Okay.
Look it up.
Well, yeah.
You can get cheap flights. I know it's not massively close. Well, Bristol, they're
Mhm.
cheap flights.
Bristol,
Inverness,
yeah.
because that's EasyJet.
Yeah, they
Then
do.
else
It
would
might
do that
be
one,
EasyJet that does Newquay as well, you know, and there'd
Yeah.
certainly be folk going past Inverness or going past Glasgow or Edinburgh to pick her up.
Is it worth saying about the people that are further away that we actually give them a travel budget of X amount, and which forces them to get a flight and not drive a vehicle all the way up the road?
Yeah.
You know, they can get buses as well.
Yeah.
My friend came up from Anglesey and it cost £48.
They
Oh.
might also prefer to drive if they're going to come up Hawaii and spend a couple of days paddling up here. Because I ken Laura Wynne was up paddling here just a couple of months ago. Liam Green and that. So again, I think to limit them to flights might put them off actually.
That was why I was thinking if we gave them a budget, we wouldn't be paying per mile. And if they chose to come up and have an extended holiday on the back of it, well, that costs them the extra for,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know,
Aye.
does that
we
seem
have-
too out of order?
What we've said to everybody else is we either offer them as a paid coach, in which case they get no travel, or they go as a volunteer and then they get all their travel. But we've ditched all of our volunteers from England so far. So we had like Caroline, not ditched them, it sounds awful. Caroline Carr, the really Lila, the sea kayaker,
Isla, yeah.
and Anita Diamond. So
It's in about having that need, isn't it?
yeah,
We didn't need them because of what we've got in Scotland,
yeah.
but we don't have the whitewater kayak coach.
And also, I think that it's important that we bring somebody in because that supports our team of advanced water kayakers, whether that's Cara or Georgina and Mags. You know, it builds that community of advanced whitewater kayakers, which we obviously haven't got enough of.
So I take it that the sponsors like Peak and Pam and Piranha don't have any qualified women.
Yeah, I thought about asking.
That they could give us.
Well, that was one of my things I was thinking with Lowry was if she was willing to come, that we could contact, I think she's a Piranha paddler, do we contact Piranha and say, could you help with the travel expenses to make it worthwhile and put a case forward? But I think we need to get them on, we need to make sure they've got the weekend free first, and then we can start negotiating. But I think you're right, Kirsten, in yeah, if we start trading all of the travel, it'll break the bank. Well, it's not worth putting it on.
Oh no, because I got to work at the World, I doesn't get my travel paid because I would be coming down with the team. But if I did in fuel, it would have been like 400 quid, you know, something ridiculous to go down to Cornwall and back up in a van, you know.
Great. Okay. So where does that leave us? I haven't asked Cara yet. Whoops, go back. I haven't asked Cara yet. But I think we need, are you happy that I do? I go ahead and ask Cara.
I think the demand's there, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not, thought I'd made notes of who else we're not asking, who else is out there that we've not asked. Oh, it's on here, potential canoe. So this is really small, make that bigger. Forget the canoe stuff, it's this. So from here down, but we already know these. So Anna Bush, I don't know if Anna's active. She works with Lag and Leah. Babs is already working. Janet Peck's a slalom coach who doesn't really do much whitewater. Cara we're bringing in. Jenny's already working. Katie we asked last year and she wasn't paddling. I don't know Leslie Aikenhead. And Feekorf's not available. So apart from Leslie, who qualified in 2017 and has a...
So Leslie Aikenhead.
Yeah.
I'll do a Google.
Yeah.
I'll do a Facebook search.
But I think it's reasonable to ask Cara, given that she applied to be an assistant.
She's so active as well, isn't she? she's funny.
Yeah. The thing is, we know Cara, we know what we're getting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she is, she is actively developing lots of women just now.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, it'd be great to have her on board, actually. Be really good.
That's the job for tomorrow then. Then canoe coaches, just let me remind us what we need. It's on here. So we need intro and whitewater. Yeah, so we do need 2. So Emmy. Why have I? Oh yeah, OC1. So we're struggling with our OC1. So original thoughts were Beth and Laura Swanson as one option. The other option is Emmy's offered to do it. So that would then mean that can I just escape that? Make it a bit bigger. Can you guys still see that? Mm-hmm. So if we put Emmy here, if Laura was available, she could still work with Emmy. And then that's Laura, and then that means that's Beth.
And that kind of makes up for the fact that Laura doesn't have a ticket yet, doesn't it? But has the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, no, sorry. So Emmy's had some comms with Laura and she's not prepared to do it if she's not being, she can't afford to do it if she's not being paid. So
but equally catch-22, she doesn't have a ticket.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sorry.
Story of the industry, so
yeah.
We've all got to do stuff to get where we want to get.
Yeah. Now is she I think she's leadership qualified. So as a canoe leader, would that make a difference? Yeah, so she's canoe qualified.
She has had that for a while. I thought we were always saying that she didn't have a ticket. Maybe she didn't have a coach.
She's not got a coaching ticket.
Yeah, she's not got a coaching ticket.
Yeah, okay.
So if she did,
are we then doubling up paying 2 staff?
Yeah, no.
1 session.
No, that's not happening because it's not even full.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if she's got a leadership, but she's got a specialist craft, surely that's a bit different. It's not as though she's not qualified to be in that environment.
And it will be intro stuff.
Yeah. And then that leaves Beth and Emmy.
What do you think, Beth? Are you being a canoeist, are you comfortable that Laura would run the OC1 with a leadership qualification?
I don't know what else she does.
Yeah, I don't
She's
know.
So
she's a
my
triple
only question
rafting.
would be, I assume she's, like, I know she's decent in her OC1. Does she do any coaching? That'd be my question.
But then she can't coach
No,
because she's got a
not
leadership
OC1.
ticket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, you would be employing her to coach, and it would be coaching because it's intro stuff. So I just don't know how much of that stuff she's done. Like, it'd have to be a conversation, I guess, because like, she might be doing loads because no one's doing OC1.
Mm-hmm.
But if she's not
she's
doing
not
loads,
she's not coaching OC1.
yeah, so she's just going shredding in her OC1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she
Doing
just goes
no-
around paddles with Liam. She doesn't coach it. Liam's the
Yeah,
only one
that's
out
what
of the mix.
so I don't know. I guess it'd just be a conversation with her and say,
She's
Are
yet
you happy
to
with
actually
coaching?
confirm exactly if she's available those dates as well. That's what she's getting back to me because she's having to check it with her work.
So, and are you comfortable, Emmy, that she'd be skilled enough to run that intro OC1 stuff?
Her personal skills, out of everyone, she is the better person to run
yeah,
it.
like
It's
class.
whether it's financially right for us to do it, and if it's when it comes down to giving someone the coaching role who's not a coach, where we've not done that in any other sessions. If something went wrong, have we made the right have we made the right decision?
Yeah, I mean, the risks are she's not a great coach, so they don't have a great experience, or the other risk would be that she like overestimates capability, you know. So
yeah, I think that's what I mean by like, is she coaching? So like,
yeah,
You know who's booked on these sessions? Is it the Whitewater Kayakers that booked on it last time? Because there's a bunch
That's
of
a
them
good
that booked
question,
on
yeah.
it and then moved back to kayaking.
The thing is,
Yeah.
if you were running this and say Emmy was going to lead it, who is the assistant? You know, is Leanne going to come in as an assistant? Because she probably wouldn't care if she got paid for it, because she's got her full-time job.
Let's just say that she won't be full-time employed when this is on.
Okay.
I'll message you, Kirsten.
Okay.
Oh, we're sharpening the axes tonight.
She might be looking for more paid time work, let's put it that way.
You may be looking for more full-time work.
Paid freelance work. I didn't tell you this.
No. When's she leaving?
A month.
Is that before? Oh, that's before I'm down, after I'm down.
Yeah, you're both snowboarding still, I think is what she
Oh,
said.
great.
so I guess the nub of it is, if Laura ran the OC1 on her own, then Emmy, it would be Beth and Emmy doing the canoe sessions. If Emmy's on OC1, we need to bring somebody else in for the canoe session. So Beth, you'd be on Whitewater, and it would be Mo or Leanne on intro. So Mo came last year as an assistant on the SUP. She's qualified. She works for
Samson.
Yeah. She works for Adventure Trust, is that right? And she does, and canoeing is Mo's thing.
Yeah.
So old level 3, but canoeing as a part of her day job. And then Leanne from Active, who some of you know, who's also qualified open water canoe coach.
For the intro to canoeing, is that intro on the moving water, or is it just intro to canoeing?
Just
intro.
Just intro.
Who's booked on that? I have interest. I know 2 people that are booked, and they don't fit into either of those holes. And I'm like, where have you put yourself? Because they might not actually be as intro as they put.
But could a trained coach, someone who's not done their coach assessment, run it in a venue that they're capable in and they've got a leadership award? Because Nicola Caroline.
That's going back to the not being equitable thing about they're not actually qualified, isn't it?
Like,
Alright,
as soon
okay.
as you start finding grey areas, you've got to operate in the same grey area for everyone.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's
Okay.
easier to
Well,
just
she
not
might
operate in the grey.
get her assessment by May then. Okay.
Who's that now? Sorry.
Nicola Caroline
Okay.
or Nicola Cole. Probably Nicola Cole, I think, is probably under it. She's changed it on the system. She just did her training with Sam at the weekend.
And you're talking canoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we've got Mo and Leanne who are qualified,
Then yeah. And
so
we get anyone then.
they would be first choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we seem to have folk there. It's just down to availability, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So I think it's
Yeah.
going back, checking the availability. I think Laura is definitely the great area.
Mhm.
And I've got a feeling that whoever doesn't take, so, you know, say if Mo, who's got more experience than Leanne, took the open canoe stuff, and if Leanne wants to get known in the industry, she'll volunteer to get her name known.
Yeah, Leanne has applied to be an assistant.
Do you see what I mean? So even though it's only one weekend, that she may actually think it's actually worthwhile actually volunteering and then helping you on the OC1.
And that's, but we haven't got space. That's where those volunteer spaces, in terms of, I mean, maybe she could meet at the river, but we're,
Well, she lives locally, so she doesn't need accommodation.
yeah, so she'd just not go in the lodge and come to meet
Yeah,
at
she
the
lives in
river.
Newtonmore.
Yeah, okay.
So, and she would be quite happy to jump in a tent.
Mhm. Well, Mo's the more experienced of the two,
Definitely.
so she would be, yeah, Mo would be the preference to ask first. I'll leave Leanne on there actually as a second.
Yeah.
I mean, Mo's, like I say, they've both applied, so I'm expecting they'd both be available.
And then I would offer Leanne then the OC1. Because
okay.
how much OC1 has she done, Emmy?
Leanne,
Yeah.
I don't know if she's even been in one.
But basically she's just been a second, so she could theoretically
She
just
could go
jump
in a
down,
canoe.
just jump down in a normal canoe.
Yeah, she could
Yeah.
do that, and then yeah, that's fine. So I can say paddle to Leanne.
Yeah.
She could go in a canoe.
Yeah.
Is Leanne Whitewater qualified?
Oh. I think she has been paddling the Gary, but she isn't. I don't think she's qualified in it yet.
I don't think she is either. Leanne. Yeah, no, open water. Who's that one?
But is there anybody else pushing on the door of the, is there anybody within, how about
Well, yeah, we've not got an assistant space for every discipline, you know, for every activity. We don't have an assistant place for everything, so we're spending a lot of time on maybe an assistant.
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Let's leave that for now. So
I was actually thinking of the girl down in Aberfeldy that just is in the development group. It's just past
Oh, Sam.
Sam.
So I'll put it out there now. Sam will not work with me, which is sad. So you need to put her somewhere else.
yeah.
Yeah, but she's on OC1 in a canoe.
Yeah,
That's right. I don't think if she applied.
Let's go down, let's move on to the assistants because we're
Okay.
kind of getting there, aren't we?
Can I just say before you go off that slide, Lara, that Emmy had suggested the other day if Mandy can't make it, about Vix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
Oh
But
yeah.
Yeah.
she's applied to be an assistant as well.
No, but Emmy, you said she just got qualified.
I
She's
thought
like
Vix
water
was-
qualified, aye.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'm just thinking, if Mandy still can't make it, you know.
Yeah.
And Vix would bring her van and stay in her van.
Yeah. So Emmy, can you chase Laura?
Yeah, I chased her yesterday. I sent her a big message. She's read it / listened to it. So I think she's just going to sort out. She's going to check with Active Highs, but I think we'll need to decide if she's not going to have a coaching ticket, are we taking her?
And the biggest problem is if she's working for Active Highs and the Gary's running, she's going to be rafting.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
You aren't allowed to say that you can't work certain times, though. People don't own you. You know, if you want to do something, you
Yeah.
can go to weddings and funerals and stuff like that. You need to be able to be sick. So
Yeah.
Like I've said to her, I was like, look, can you let me know within a couple of days? And if the answer is no, it's absolutely fine. Just let me know either way. No one's going to be like, oh, she's not working or whatever.
And if she comes back and says, yes, she's available, then I'll have a chat with her about her coaching experience and check that out. I'll give her a ring. Do you think that's the best way to handle that?
Yeah.
we're not decided if we took somebody that wasn't the same as everybody else, we were creating an inequality.
Or do we change it and it's a leadership day? And then she's working under remit.
But yeah, if you're going to get an OC1 for the first time, you want to mess around, don't you? It's not really a river tripping sort of boat, is it?
No.
What do you think, Emmy, if we just said no to Laura?
For ease of everything, just say no. It's fine.
Okay.
Like, even if Laura said, oh, actually, I've got time off work, she can just go back to them and be like, no, I'm working. Like she does pretty much, I'm pretty sure she does the rotas anyway as activities manager, so she can sort it herself. So
okay,
that's fine. I think it's just her, she is so much better than me in a boat.
Yeah.
Well, in an OC1.
Yeah.
So I'll go out with Sam and do some practicing.
Great.
But we do have to remember that it's on the SPA.
Yeah.
What, sorry?
The other side of that, which I know will be very unpopular, Greg, who paddles these boats, is driving this trailer. I'm sure he'd be happy to stand on the bank and be like, why are you doing like that? Like, I know that's not what people want, but it's a very practical point that it's kind of his thing.
Is Beth, sidetrack question, do you know if anyone could get an OC1 to me before May? Because I don't know if I can get any one of Liam's available.
There's a few kicking around Inverness.
There was one at the lodge.
All right, we'll check on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Check. I mean, if you can't, ping me a message because Team Silverboat to coming up to finish off their media stuff that they didn't do back in the last year because they got broken. So I'm sure I could acquire one onto a trailer if needs be.
And
perfect, thank you.
Jim's selling his.
Say again, Kirsten.
Jim is selling his, so he might let you paddle. If he doesn't shift it, he'll maybe let you just paddle it.
And the other option is Edinburgh Kayak Club. They have 3 in the club and they offered to lend us them last year. Once we told them we were cancelling it, they said, oh, we've got some boats you can borrow.
I think there's one at Beyond as well, actually. I don't know who it is, it's on the top rack.
Right, cool. We'll wait and see on Wednesday, and if not, I'll hit you all a message in the chat.
Winner. So therefore, that means we need Mo. We need to ask Mo. So Leanne's a backup. So Emmy, can you chase Mandy?
Yeah, I'll be 2 seconds.
I'll do Cara and the ANO, Advanced Water.
Do we want to wait and see if Emmy gets a message from Mandy tonight? And then if not, I can message down to Vix.
Yep. Yeah. And then perfect. That's a plan. And what that does to our numbers is we've got Anne Young as a spare, and we've also got Jill Barrow as a spare, which, knowing Jill, she'll be more than happy with that. She's multi-craft as well, and
she can help oversee and manage like SWPS and all the stuff as well.
Yeah, uber experience, good set hands to have. So, and that should give us 25. If I add my numbers up, 5 and 8 and 7 and 2 and 3. Yeah, it's 25. Perfect. Have you got the puff for assistants?
Yes.
Great. So you excuse all my shorthand things. The first one is Ruth on Greenland rolling. Because you were the only one who asked to do it. Well, not quite true. It was your first choice, second choice, and third choice, and there was others who it was their second and third choice, but didn't put a very compelling story behind it. So yours was to me that was a very clear. You're really keen to do it, and you're keen to do it within the club when you're moving forwards. So
listen, what I would say, Lara, is I'm happy to actually book a place. So I know you said there's 9, beds left. I'm happy actually to book that myself because it's the experience. So, more than happy to do that in addition, if that helps. That's not a problem.
Yeah, great. There would be moderate water. There'll be some more sea kayak sessions coming on, but Greenland rolling's full. So you'd end up on something sea. So think about that as we go through the numbers here.
No, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean for swapping into different groups. I mean, I'm happy to pay for a bed if that, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Which sounds a bit crazy, but more than happy to do that. I just haven't got around to doing anything because it's all been a bit crazy at home and everything. That's
very generous. Thank you. Cool. So these are kind of in order. So Linda Godfrey, I've ordered them based on their qualifications. So Linda's the most qualified. She's got advanced SKL as Sea Kayak leader, and she's done her core coach training, and she's got advanced coach on the horizons. Then we've got Susan and Fiona, who've got their leadership, they've done their core, and they've done their Sea Kayak coach training. So they've got coach assessment as their next step. And then the next 3 have all got Sea Kayak leader, and they've done core coach training, and are looking to move to the discipline specific track coach training in the future. And once you go beyond that in the list, nobody else has got a Sea Kayak leader. So that to me seems fairly logical. We ended up with, I'm going to make a note, I think I'm on 1 over in terms of my logical thing. So 1 Sea Kayak and 1 Greenland. We can come back to these. So I'll run through the other disciplines as well. So whitewater kayak. How many spaces have we got? We've got 7. So 7 whitewater kayak things. Cara, we're going to ask to work. So she goes, she's the most experienced, given that she's advanced whitewater kayak leader trained. Sam West is whitewater kayak leader who's got her core and whitewater kayak discipline specific training, so assessment's her next step. Then it's Anna Robertson, who's same as Sam, but she's also whitewater kayak leader trained. Christina, who's done her core, so she's all these next lot are leadership and core. Christina's got advanced whitewater safety and rescue. Sarah Stubley should probably be higher up the list with advanced whitewater kayak leader trained, and Mags Elliott is whitewater kayak leader but hasn't done anything further, and there's nobody else with whitewater kayak leader.
They're all pretty solid anyway, looking at the names there.
Yeah, so my suggestion is that we either go, if we went, what did I say there was? There's 7 spaces, as long as we get that A&O coach yet to be named. There's 7 spaces. We asked Cara to coach. We could invite all of them, which would give us 7 whitewater kayak. With the sea, we drew the line. They'd done core, but there was no one else who was just a leadership and not. So the Mags one at the bottom, she hasn't got core, but that's what it is. Our SUPs, the A&O is on the next slide. That was a bit harder. So 4 there, because we're going to bring Mo in, aren't we, as a paid coach. So we end up with Ursula, who's coastal SUP and open water leader, and has done a SUP open water DST. So really strong. I don't know do you know Ursula, Julie? No, I don't either.
No.
But sounds strong. So, and then Savannah on, yes, you can make sense of any of those words. Savannah is paddle sport leader. She's done a core coach training and a sheltered water and whitewater SUP discipline specific training. So next step assessment, and she's inland open water SUP leader trained as well. So she's not got a SUP leadership qualification because there isn't one at the moment for the 2 disciplines that she's pursuing here. But she's got she's a paddle sport leader. So she's got bags of stuff in there. Mo we're going to take out, and Joyce Johnson is core and whitewater discipline specific trained. So her next step is assessment as well. So she's a bit like Savannah in that she doesn't have a leadership qualification. But that would be 3 of them. So 3 SUP plus 1. Now this is where we need your thoughts. So this is the 5th spot, and this is everybody that we've got who's applied.
So I'm about to head off. I put a message in the chat, but if I'm only doing OC1 on one day, can I help out on any of the SUP stuff?
We can go back to that.
Cool. I'm going to have to run. I've put a little message in the chat on this as well. So sorry, everyone.
All right, nice one, Emmy. Thank you.
No worries. Bye.
Bye.
So yeah, this is just to explain the word. So Claire's SUP sheltered water coach qualified, and she's done a coastal leader training. These 2 have got old British canoeing level 2, so pre 2007, back in the day when it was canoe and kayak, and they're both kind of coming back into the scene. This Emma is a ASI instructor, coming into looking at getting qualified within SCA British Canoeing. Emma Gill has done SUP sheltered water DST, and then Jen has got a SUP PSI, and Sarah has got that's paddle sport instructor. Sarah's also done a paddle sport instructor, but she's also done paddle sport touring leader, where you can lead multiple craft, but she's done it from a canoe. So we've got 3. We could take a 4th, or what are our numbers on?
Out of all that, Claire Scott's doing quite a lot of development work, isn't she, across in Shannonry?
And she's a She Paddles ambassador this year. And she's doing a lot of coaching with the sheltered water stuff.
Well, there you go. That's your choice made.
Yeah.
Winner.
I think Christine Hogben's in Inverness Club, isn't she?
Yeah, and Christine, yeah, I'll come to Christine in a minute. But that's brilliant. So Claire's in. She'll be delighted. She messaged me today. Is there any news on the assistants? And I was like, you're on the dodgy list.
You're on the naughty but not nice list.
Yeah, perfect. Great. And then the canoe assistants is we only need 2. Yeah, intro and open water. So Leanne. So who's more qualified out of Leanne and Laura McCall is difficult. So Leanne is newly qualified. Laura is as qualified, but back in old level 3 means pre-2007.
Okay, Laura, who's on the development group.
Yes.
Quite personable.
Right. Yeah.
little bit underconfident, but in actual fact, see with the development days, I think she'll pick. I really liked her.
Right.
I thought she was quite personable. Leanne, new coach, again, is personable. Not
Yeah, and
Laura's a
Shula.
tidy paddler, and Shula as well.
Mm,
Shula's probably the more experienced out of all three of them.
mhm. Yeah,
I'd
and
probably say it's probably Shula, probably Leanne, but I'm not sure how much knowledge she's got to back up. And then Laura is just finding her feet again.
yeah, to me, I felt like Shula was the priority because her next step is whitewater canoe assessment.
Yeah, I would probably take Shula over the three of them.
Yeah, okay.
I'd get Sheila in then.
And she's based in Aviemore and doesn't need accommodation, which means we can sell another space.
Yeah, okay.
So
So
she's
let's
out in Creech.
get rid of them, those ones. So it would be if we had to choose between Laura and Leanne.
I think it would do wonders for Laura's confidence. But were we putting Leanne in the other one, in possibly the OC one?
Yeah, so let's add on numbers up. 14. What did we decide on SUP? Yeah, we got to put Claire in, so that was 4 SUP. So we're on 8. We're on 18. 6. In fact, it's here. I think it was right. 6C, 6, 7 whitewater kites, 1 Greenland, 2 canoe, 4 SUP.
Question: Who's your volunteer for the pack raft? Because obviously Leanne rafts and canoes,
Yeah.
so that would be a place where she could volunteer, and she does ducky trips as well.
Okay. And so,
I think she does
so
anyway.
it could be the person who I'd put down on pack raft was Morgan. I think she works at Lag and Lear.
Okay.
Let me just have a look. She's the only one who asked for it, but so where are we at? Let's just stick that off the bottom for a minute. 14, 15, 16, yeah, that's 20. So that based on, so we could.
I think 2 for canoe is reasonable because it's not got nearly as many sessions as all the other activities.
Yeah.
Because we're cancelling one of them, aren't we?
Yeah, so we've got intro and whitewater, and then OC1 was what we were just debating.
We just leave it at 2, and then be like, if you want to go on the OC one day, you can, because we don't need them. Not like that. Like, we do need them. They're great. They'll be a great help, I'm sure. But like, if they wanted to be like, I just offer them the like, if you want to do that one for the day, that's fine.
And the pack raft's easy to run yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, it gives somebody a development opportunity, but equally Claire would be more than happy just delivering herself.
Yeah. There's a couple of people in their application who expressed an interest in doing paddle sport touring leader. So that was kind of an obvious place to put them. But what we could do.
But the multi-craft mixed river trip chill thing would be good for that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So how about we invite all of this lot, which is our 20, and then we have a look at this down here as a because we might not, all 20 might not accept their places.
Yeah, that is kind of a little reserve, a wee reserve department. Yeah, because we do need to watch our numbers.
But
the great thing is they've just pulled themselves lots of bed spaces with the people that have been chosen. I think we've probably won ourselves 3 beds for sale.
So we're going for those 6 on C. We're not taking Cara.
She's working. Get her to help.
And we've got the others. And then SUP, we've got Claire Scott. And not the others. And then Canoe, we've got Shula. So Shula would be on whitewater canoe because that's what she's going into her next craft. Leanne is already open water qualified, so that would be intro. So it'd be intro.
I think it's working with more experienced coaches.
Okay.
So she's whitewater canoe leader. Trained, is she?
No, assessed.
Whitewater canoe leader assessed, is she?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oof,
Well,
okay.
she looks as though she's kind of in between being an assistant and being a coach, doesn't she? Because she's already got her coaching qualifications.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's already working in the industry and she's already in it. So
are we thinking we put Laura as a reserve and Leanne as a sort of our number 2, Laura as number 3? Because in sea kayak there's no obvious reserves, so there's nobody else there. Whitewater kayaking, it's the same. There's no others who are whitewater kayak leader qualified.
I take it Rona booked on a session rather than booking to assist, because she's definitely on a development pathway just now.
We should invite her to see if she wants to come
and
and
because she's definitely.
But we've not got any spaces now.
No, but I mean invite her to come as a participant or.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, because she's definitely wanting that advanced water leader ticket, I think. Am I right, Ruth?
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Who were you talking about?
Rona.
Yes, she's on the group, isn't she? So, and I know, yes, I know she's come off the committee, but yeah, that might work. I'm not sure if she's
I don't know
doing
if she's booked herself a place or if she would want to be an assistant in it.
She's not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure actually. Without going, yeah, I'm not sure if she's actually. Sorry, my brain's a bit crazy at the moment because it's been one of those days. Yes, I'm not sure if she's actually planning on coming to the weekend. I mean, Laura might know.
Okay.
She's not booked and she didn't apply to be an assistant, so I think it's tricky to invite her.
Yes, yeah, if she's not, yeah.
But it's easy to invite her to come as a participant. But if we're opening up some spaces, we can say we've got spaces on these sessions for sea kayaking if you want to come as a participant, a paying participant.
Yeah. Do you want, I mean, I'm happy to message her that way, just to see, but I'm not sure that she will come along. I'm not sure that she's free for that weekend though.
Yeah, either way. Okay.
Yeah.
So SUP wise, I think it's just too difficult to split all of this lot in terms of reserve spaces or anything.
I would rather give some people that were in the BC system rather than the SI system.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, let's come back to that if we have to, because we can look at the applications a bit more and
I ken that Emma is actively doing a bit of coaching up with the Murray SUP Club, Emma Gill.
Okay.
So she is leading sessions, and so she's working towards her water assessment. She just needs a bit more confidence before she'll take it. She could do her assessment tomorrow and ken for coaching. The other ends I'm not very sure about, I'm not too familiar with them.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well I think we've got there. We've got our 20. And I'll do a bit more work on the reserve. Yeah, I can do a bit more work on the reserves. Maybe come up with a list. Maybe, you know, I can message around people to see what you think. And I'm tempted to say, to sort them out into yes, they've definitely got a space. No, they definitely haven't got a space, and you're on the reserve list. So keep the date free. If you still want to come, and then find out.
Out of these people, how many of them have already booked sessions? Is it a huge amount of them? Or is that too hard to?
No, I've got the information.
No, it doesn't make too much difference.
Selected. Just give me a second.
We need to be careful they don't all think they're getting a bed.
Well, they are, but I mean, why not?
Joyce probably when I took a bed. Joyce Johnston.
Has she got a van?
She's got a van and she bides in Roth near Craigelhie. And last year she just came for the sessions and then went away. She didn't come for a socialising or that. I mean, she might change her mind, but she's kind of just in it for paddling and that's it.
Yeah, and then there's another 3 live in Aviemore.
Yeah, but if you are told you're getting a bed for free, you would take a bed.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You know, let's not
enjoyment.
just say 100% you're having a bed, because if we're touch and go, you know, with our money.
Yeah, but I think so. Glenmore Lodge have offered to pay for the beds for the assistants. So for us,
if you remember what they said to us was how we spend their sponsorship is up to us. So they were giving us the equivalent of 23 full board spaces, but how we wanted to then pass that on was up to us. You know, if we were trying, because we're also paying for, you know, their travel, their hoodies, you know, all these things that aren't sponsored, they're costing us money. And also,
but I think if we word it in along the lines of, if you need there's accommodation if you need it. We'd really appreciate those of you who don't need it, don't take it, and these are the other options, because it means we haven't got that many spaces to sell. So it's kind of, if you know, out of the 20, Shula lives locally, so you know, loads of them are local and probably want to.
Quite limited on travel expenses on them as well.
Say again?
Yeah, paying for the fuel and all of that. Yeah.
No, we've never offered that.
If they're driving during the sessions.
No fuel. That was the offer last year.
Right.
So it was hoodie, meal, bunkhouse. Last year, so essentially it's the same offer. But I think, but the only way I can think that we word it is that we say, there's a bed available if you want it. We'd appreciate, if you don't need it, please don't take it, because it limits the number of people able to attend the conference, the symposium, which reduces opportunities and affects our finances. So I think we can just word it in that way. Otherwise, we end up saying, sorry, Joyce, you're not allowed it, but Savannah is.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah.
So what did I say? 7 have booked a place on the symposium. So, yeah, that's right. 7 of the 20. Cool. Okay, so that's a job I can get done. I can invite those 20 tomorrow. I can get that done tomorrow.
Yay.
And I'll ask them to return, like, give them a week. Let us know within a week, because we need to backfill. We need to sell the spaces if they don't want the symposium space and blah blah blah. Good-o. Can also let them know that because they might also want to come as a paying participant potentially, so we can make sure that we get that off, they can go in that offer to, they're not on the waiting list, but do we treat them the same as the people on the waiting list and say, sorry, you've not been successful, but we've got these sessions available. If you want to book a place, come and join us.
Yeah.
Because that gives them the opportunity to still participate, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Missing out on the opportunity.
Yeah. And there'll be more spaces, as you say, freed up with the people that are coming off.
Great. And then my last slide, you'll be pleased to know, is about the extras. So can you read that?
So there's a couple that are going to move from there now, isn't it? Because we've just done Claire Scott.
Whoops. See, I can't edit it if I don't go in that thingy. Yeah, so the top 5 is me, Tracy, Eleanor, who's our SCA, spelt it wrong. She's the Mary version, SCA events person. We've then got Jill and Anne, who we've brought off coaching to help to be super subs. Now, if somebody cancelled and they ended up coaching, they become cost neutral. So they're only costing us anything if they end up being around the building. But I think Anne, we need her anyway. I think it'll be good to have Anne there helping, and
It's just a solid runner that sees the wider picture.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
no, I
as
wouldn't
Jill
be
is. But Jill might also say, if you don't need me, I'm happy to not come.
I think it would be good to have people to manage, you know, the groups and the buses and the trailers and the thing, you know, and access. You know, there's a lot of upfront work we need to do with so many people.
Yeah, and down the bottom here, so we've got Lauren, who she's a Sea Paddles ambassador. There's 3 of them, Savannah and Claire, who are now both coming as assistants, and then Lauren is the 3rd. She's not booked a space, and she didn't get in as an assistant. She's way less qualified than the others. Has offered to help with reception and, you know, kind of car parking and camping, all that sort of directing people where to go, that kind of stuff. The other one is British Canoeing Lois. She manages the She Paddles Ambassador program, and British Canoeing want to send her. Now I've said you're more than welcome, and this is what it will cost you for your accommodation if there's space, but there's loads in Aviemore if there's no space. And then we don't need to worry about these 2 actually. Chris and Alison, they're both delivering for us on Friday evening, but I emailed them this week to say, do you mind delivering on Friday but being a participant? They've both booked a space as a participant. Do you mind delivering but then being a participant for the weekend? And they both come back and said that's fine. So that's easy. So we can remove them off our list of extras. And then the other ones we've got down here are any extras like Palm or Silver Birch. I should put in there Peak. I don't know if there's any others. 6, 7.
Put question marks at them, please, if they've not confirmed.
So Pam haven't confirmed yet if they're coming.
Oh, they're very keen. No, I think they're as good as confirmed.
Right, that's what I got that impression.
Yeah. Peak were a bit, in fact, and Silver Birch. It's whether or not they need accommodation and all that stuff. But I think Janice is coming from Palm. Greg Spencer coming from Silver Birch, Beth.
I think it will be Greg. It'll just be whoever can drive the trailer up.
Yeah.
Who they can spare, but I imagine it'll be Greg.
Yeah, and then Peak was a bit more of a question mark in terms of availability. But I was thinking about, you know, what jobs do we need? I think we kind of, we sort of need registration, which is,
You might need parking.
yeah, I was going to
Oh,
say.
There's
sort of,
there's a lot we need with that many people in the building.
Yeah.
So last year registration was Mary, Tracy. Who was with you, Tracy?
Me, Mary, Susan.
Me, I suppose a bit.
Yeah, there was people kind of jumped in and out, and we were also trying to sell raffle tickets and trying to sort out everybody that arrived. Yeah, it was all pretty disorganized.
Yeah.
So I think we've got registration, parking, registration, raffle tickets. I think we need floaters that can just ask questions, show people where to go.
There's the campsite will definitely need managed.
Yeah. Then you've got all the passes and everything like that, you know, a reception going to need a hand to get all the rooms out and all that.
Yeah, no, they'll do that themselves.
Yeah.
We just have to process them through us and then send them to them.
Okay.
I'd almost think you need somebody in the campsite area,
Yeah,
and somebody in the van area where the van's
Yeah.
going to be,
definitely.
and somebody like
Parking.
the traffic at the beginning, you know, to make sure
Yeah,
the campers go
Yeah.
the right way and the vans go the right way. And the
You're
car.
going to need a minimum of 3 people on campsite, maybe 4. But you'll get people like, I'll pop down early.
I would
So-
say 3 because we've got kind of 3 separate main areas. So I would say 3.
So like what I've got there, parking, campsite, vans.
Yeah, so there'll be 2 different van places, maybe 2 different campsite places, 3 different campsite places, and parking's just everywhere. We've only got 85 parking spaces in total, and that includes the parking on the hard standings for the vans. So we need to try and encourage people to use public transport and share and all that. But
Could we do a lift up from the bottom of the road?
Yeah, we can sort all that out as well.
Right.
We're going to need to have pretty extensive management systems and operational stuff in place beforehand. So I've started sitting in some of the morning meetings, and they've maybe got, at the moment I've been in, and like there's been 6 instructors or 8 instructors, and the amount of detail that they go through and logistics and all the rest of it, and that's with staff who are all highly super qualified and have worked there a lot. So I'm just getting my head around what the lodge systems are, because we'll need like the equivalent of all of that, because they're not doing that for us. We're in charge of all of that ourselves. So I think
the system we used last year, which was fill the form in and what, like we didn't even have a coaches meeting last year.
Well, we did try, but people kept coming in, if you remember.
Yeah, I mean, we
chased them out.
we could do that on Friday evening. We've got more chance of getting everybody in the lecture theatre. We've got a space that would accommodate everyone to start with. Or we do it in pods, so the suppers have a pod, and
that's what I was thinking about using Anne and Jill for.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just looking at, you know, when things go wrong, or you know, like we need to kind of really be up on all of that, because it will be much bigger this year.
Yeah.
The other job that we've got is base late back person.
Yeah, which is
sort of at control.
Yeah, which has always been, which is me, but yeah, the late back thing's been me. So I reckon that's unique people. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10. So I think we need
realistically, you're going to get the folk that are on the committee coming to help on the Friday.
Yeah,
you know, true. Like I can try and wangle the Friday off so that I can be up there early.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest. I'm sure Emmy will as well.
I can as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing, and Nikki will be about if needed. She'll come along.
Great,
Yeah.
because there'll be signage and all sorts of stuff to put up. You know, we need to put signage. If you remember our feedback from last year about how shit our signs were, even though it was like on Google Maps, fucking great big huge sign. Oh, there I swore on the recordings, pardon me. But yeah, so we need to be aware of our feedback from last year, all the things that we didn't do. So there'll be loads of jobs to do on the Friday, and all the buses and the trailers, and that's all going to be. We need to really have that all sorted out beforehand. Because the lodges systems with all of that we need to fit in with, and stores and all the rest of it as well.
Are we all on wee buses at the lodge now?
No. So that's on the meeting. I've got that down for the meeting on Saturday, on Wednesday that we have with the lodge. They've currently got 8 buses, one's off the road. They can sometimes have 3 or 4 off the road at the one time with no notice, just the way it is just now, because they're leased buses. The lodge don't own them anymore. They've currently all got trailer hitches, and there's a mixture of 8-seater, well, 9-seaters and 17-seaters.
And are they tachograph carded?
They're all different, so I'm going to try and get a matrix of them on Wednesday, which currently doesn't exist, but we'll see.
I have a tachograph card.
Good.
And a D1 license, so that probably helps on the big buses.
Yeah. But you know, so groups will have to share them, won't they? So
and Emmy will have the same. I think
we will do a check on that and make sure that we've got that information soon. I'm conscious of time, folks. If I I'm keen that we've got our 5 here, which are obvious, and then we've got Lauren and Lois. Lois isn't going to cost us anything, and Lauren, as a She Paddles ambassador, who's keen, really keen to come and be involved in the event. I'm keen that we go. This is our team of organisers around the building who'll be very busy on Friday, so we need them there by
11.
Yeah.
11 realistically.
Yep. But are you guys happy with that? And then if we in terms of, I'm just thinking in terms
long as Lois from British Canoe realizes that she's coming to do jobs. And
yes, yeah,
you know what I mean. I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that in actual fact we're counting on her.
Yeah,
and the same with Lauren.
Yeah.
Lauren will get stuck in. Like if you give her a job, she'll crack on it. She's a good one.
Aye.
Great.
You can go a referee.
Yeah, lovely. So we'll think about that as our core team, who and try and think about jobs for them for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that it doesn't all fall on a handful.
The other thing that's kind of missing here is we should possibly keep social media up to date as well, and have photographs as the weekend's going up, so people arrive and get all that sort of thing.
Right.
That was one of Savannah's jobs, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Savannah's now as an assistant.
Yeah, so she'll be busy Saturday, Sunday, out with her group and stuff, but she'll be about Friday night.
Yeah, and should I put that in the email to our assistants?
Yeah, that would be great. They can help out.
Is it worth setting up a WhatsApp group or something that everybody puts their photos into?
We did that, the coaches last year.
I think the coaches did that, yeah.
And it worked brilliantly for me.
Just means you can build it in one place.
Yeah, it was great. And we used those photos. We had photo consent from everybody last year. I don't think we do have it from everybody this year, so we have to be a bit mindful of that.
Can we double check it on registration?
Yeah. But yeah, that worked brilliantly last time. We had such a great library of photos, and people were posting them on Facebook. They can post them on. think they can post them on our page, or maybe it's only us that can, but maybe we change the settings for the day that, you know, everybody who was there can post on our Facebook page. But we can think about that nearer the time, I think. But yeah, good to get that on. So that's brilliant. Loads of stuff there that really helps us move on. Where did my notes go with the agenda? Here we go. The next bunch of stuff, sponsorship, demo kit, campsite, food, parking, and management systems. I think management systems and ops, you, Tracy, you, me and Emmy can pick that up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
As we will parking, because we know that's a lodge thing. Is that what you meant by campsite as well, in terms of spaces and where they're going to be, and
the risk assessments, the procedures, yeah, all of that, just the management of it.
Great. So we'll pick that up on Wednesday. Sponsorship and kit and demo kit. Is there any updates from you on that stuff, Beth?
What was the question? I was
about sponsorship and demo boats and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so Greg is bringing a trailer of stuff. So that'll be canoes, OC ones. Anything else we can maybe sneak onto there?
I'm just having a look at Amy's message as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm just looking at.
I know that System X, she's been in touch with System X. System X have said Kirsten and Mags will bring what they've got, which I don't have a lot, but Mags has a bit. But then the lodge has got so much as System X's kit in terms of Werner paddles and all that.
Yeah. Lion, I'm chatting to at the moment a few things from Emmy about whether they can do a whole heap more printing on stuff.
Right. Yeah, lovely.
Their question, I need to message Emmy back. Their question is, well, what do we get out of that? Which is a fair point, because Emmy didn't give me much, like, she's like, ask them for these things. Like, apart from that, are they getting anything? Which is a fair question from them. Because asking them about printing up like 120 odd bags and stuff like that is quite a lot. So I think Emmy was originally chatting about what sponsors were, what package we were offering sponsors.
Yeah, so I don't
know what came from that.
I've got an email that we sent out which basically kind of said these are the opportunities for things that you could do.
Great.
And we're open to, we obviously want the event to work for you as well, so
yeah.
What do you want out of it, you know, and almost throw it back to them.
Yeah.
So we can link them in with our social media and our advertising.
Yeah, I don't think they're not super pushy about it. They're just like, Daniel was like, what, when I take this to my boss, because I'm not allowed to say yes, but someone might look at what I've said yes to and be like,
no, absolutely, they should be able to kind of quantify what they're getting out of
it. Have you got, could you forward me that? I've lost it somewhere.
Yeah,
I probably have it, but I'll just copy and paste it and send it in. So they're looking at potentially doing that. I think there's some chat about banners and stuff like that from Lion. My thought, I don't think Lion will be able to do that, but the workshop across from me would be able to.
Okay.
And they're making pretty much any medal from anyone that's not Ironman, and any set of banners and stuff at the minute they're making. So like, I think they're making all the stuff for like the night runs and that are happening around Aviemore, and that's all pretty bread and butter to them. So I'll go see Paul at some point. I need to see him anyway. Great. So that might, and they'd be able to do like a massive job out of everything you could ever want. So I'll go chat to those guys. And you get to feel nice and shiny that you helped out some special people.
So shall we put another date in the diary for our next, have we got a date for our next meeting? Have I got it in my diary? I think we have, but I'm not sure when it is. 13th of March, which is probably too far away, isn't it?
Yep.
It's too close to the.
Far away.
You're gonna need one.
Do we want one sort of mid-February, like
Yeah,
2
because
weeks time?
at the time we juggle things about and get, try and get those beds sold and see what the assistants have accepted and see who's sponsoring t-shirts or hoodies and all of that. And we need to like sort the food and all these sorts of things.
Yeah. So
February sometime.
I can February the 14th. Have you all got hot dates?
Yeah.
That one on the way, that's too soon. How about the 21st of February?
Is that a Monday?
The Tuesday.
Tuesday. That's my last call, coach. I think 1-to-1 thing. I think off the top of my head, and I will be in Lanzarote, but I will link in to whatever I need to.
I could also
do the
do
13th. You can certainly do Monday the 13th.
I'm
Not
every
the 15th.
sorry. Yeah, the week before I can only do the Tuesday. That next week I can do. I'd have to,
So the 14th, the 21st,
or that I could do the 23rd.
Thursday.
Sorry, that's really stressful seeing performance coach pre-assessment there, just so you know.
Sorry.
Because that's like a whole lot sooner than it looks in my diary.
Let's stop sharing my diary.
Like,
Sorry.
Just like, oh no, that's like
Could do the
on same
14th.
page.
It's when there's notes at the side. I mean, I can do the 21st if I speak to Claire, or the 23rd. I can do either of those, I think.
Yeah, your
I haven't
thing
got
with
my diary with me.
Claire will be half an hour. So
yeah, and I'm sure she could be flexible. I can work around her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
can do that. That's no bother.
let's pop it in then.
And if we're working this back as well, we said we were going to give 2 weeks for the first fresh lot of bookings and people to say if they could do the volunteering and things like that, doesn't it? So that kind of takes us to at least the 10th, doesn't it? And then that gives you a week to put out.
Yeah, and I think that
any swappies.
Yeah,
and maybe just give them a week to swap.
Yeah.
And then into a meeting, and then we'll have a really good idea, bed spaces, session spaces, all that sort of stuff.
And we should be able to spend more time on things like the raffle and the sponsorship deals, and getting all of that stuff squared away. Some of the more detail.
Yeah, so Matt asked me about food on Saturday. Yeah, I was partying with Matt on Saturday night, and he asked me about food. Much food did we want for our thousands of women? And I said, and he said, well, just tell me what you want, and it's fine. So I said, right, well, we'll get on it and we'll have that discussion. So,
can you give us some sample menus of what works well?
Well, anything that they do works well. It's kind of what we
does.
think our clients are going to want. I mean, they get like 5 out of 5 every week, on their feedback with the food at the lodge. No doubt Liz will have a budget, but Matt says to speak to him. So, yeah, we can have, I think, what's easy. We want vegan, gluten-free, and.
Were we doing cake on return, were we?
We're doing.
Isn't that the only reason we go to the lodge?
Yeah,
absolutely. That's what I'm asking.
We've got 150 pieces of cake on Saturday.
So there's 5 not getting.
and we've got the 150 pieces of cake on Sunday is being split in half, and the other half going out on Friday.
That makes sense.
So 75 on Friday and 75 on
the
Sunday.
thing is, if we were a couple short for the Saturday, we could probably take 10 and put them out on the Saturday.
Yeah, got you.
But
I'll not have cake, so somebody can have mine.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
supposed to be over 150. I don't think that'll be. There's not. We've got 30 non-residential people. They'll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll. I think there'll be
See
more
them.
than a cake for
Yeah.
Tracy.
Yeah, and that was another thing that came up. We were going to use wristbands, or what were we going to use, because they ended up short for food or for the ceilidh on Saturday night, and I think it was just I saw 6 people coming in, randoms through the door,
Yeah,
that weren't part of anything, you know. So we need to think
Yeah.
how we're going to manage that, if it's with wristbands or whatever.
Or tickets.
Yeah. Anyway, what was the date for that meeting, Lara? Sorry, I lost track.
21st of February.
That's a Tuesday,
Yeah,
7:30 again.
7:30.
Mm.
Great, smashing.
right. I'm putting it in. Tuesday, 21st of Feb, 1900. Okay, right. I'm going to stop recording. Poor old whoever's going to wants to listen to it.